video on greenwoodtoday.com, you know I'm there. My name is Jonathan Graves, and I'm your Greenwood Today sports host. And I'm joined here by my football panel. We have, to my far right, somebody that everybody's wondering who he is, what's he doing here, why is he wearing a black shirt, why has he got the shades, why is he smiling like that? His name is none other than Stephen Graves, my little brother. I know everybody's probably wondering why we look alike. We're not twins. I hate when people say that. Stephen, how you doing today?
Doing all right, John.
He just called me John. Anyway, he'll be referred to as Stevie G during the broadcast because we have another Stephen sitting here to my right, Stephen Miller. How you doing?
Doing pretty good.
Stephen's covering Adville. We're about to get to those games in a minute. But let's go over here to the far left. And none other than the Emerald Vikings man, the guy with the perfect football name, James Spikes. Spikes, how you doing?
Pretty good, pretty good.
We're here to talk football. Let's go straight to the GTS game of the week for last week, 96 versus Landrum. 96, it was their homecoming game and they almost blew it, but they did prevail 23-17. 96 is, you know, they're on a roll right now. I think they're on about a 2 or 3 game winning streak. Homecoming, you know, usually a big distraction for a team, but they were able to overcome that. Alex Good had another good game running the ball. Trey Smith actually had a decent time throwing the ball, so they're kind of getting back on a roll. Everybody knows that the region championship will be played that last game of the season for Region 1A, Wearshoals versus 96. We'll go right down there to Stephen again. Stephen, when you're looking at 96 versus Landrum, it was the GTS game of the week. What'd you see from the Wildcats?
Well, I mean, I saw a lot of good things. I saw Trey Smith. He had a good passing night. I'm still thinking that they're not getting Prater the ball enough. They could be utilizing him a little bit more. I've heard from some old 96 buddies of mine that, you know, he's not too reliable on yards after the catch, but they can at least get the yards off the reception and put the team in better field position for Trey Smith to work with.
We appreciate the inside information from the 96 Wildcats. Let's get some more inside information. Let's go to the left. We'll go to James Spikes because I think you had the best game from last week. Emerald finally got their first win. I can't believe I'm saying it. The Vikings finally prevailed over Crescent. It was a 1-point victory. I hate to say it, but they could have lost the game. But thanks to great Emerald special teams, they were able to stop a fake punt they had, I think, in about the first quarter, set up an Emerald touchdown. Then they were able to stop a fake field goal right at the end to preserve the victory. James, it feels good to say Emerald finally got their first win of the season. Tell me what you thought of the game.
I thought the game was amazing. It started off, Emerald shut them down for like the first 2 or 3 drives they had. 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. The defense was just working. And then the offense decides that they want to bring in Eric Simpson, who's been out for a couple weeks. And he gets the ball and he just does whatever he wants to with it. Mm-hmm. And so they finally had a ground game, and they gave the quarterback some time to look down the field and survey everything. So he decides he want to throw it sometimes, but it was mostly ground heavy for them for the whole game. And then I don't know what happened at the end, but they gave up a couple. They were up 21-7, and they just let them come back on. And at the end, the defense stepped up again big and held them when they tried to go for 2. When they tried to fake the field goal and go for 2.
Okay. Emerald, they have a possibility of getting on a 2-game winning streak because they go to Liberty for the next game, and Liberty's winless. They're looking for their first win on the season when they play the Vikings. All right, let's go to Stephen Miller here. When we're talking Adville Panther football, we're always going to come to Stephen Miller. Stephen, we already know your thoughts for the Adville. You think that, you know, they're on a roll, and I think your, you know, suspicions that they're a really, really good football team. They're going to run through the region. They were confirmed on Friday when they beat Walhalla 55-7. It was a big-time game from everybody, all those offensive playmakers, Mr. Enright, Elmore, Thaxton, Head. I think we've all gotten accustomed to hearing those names every Monday morning quarterback. So, Stephen, when you're talking about Adville Panthers, what you see from them on Friday night?
Well, at first, you know, I thought Walhalla, they were 5-1 coming into the game. you know, and I thought they were going to be a decent team, and they came out first drive, and you know they had a few good drives, a few good plays, but they fumbled the ball down in Abbeville territory, and then after that it was just pretty much Abbeville the rest of the game. They put up 35 points in the first half, which is incredible. I think, you know, even though Walhalla may not be that good of a team, I still think that's really good. I think that in the last 2 games, they've almost outscored their opponents by nearly 100 points. So, yeah, they're definitely racking up yardage and touchdowns. And like you said, all those guys, Elmore, Thatson, Enright, and Head, I think all had at least 1 touchdown in that game. So they're looking pretty good. They got a big game Friday night. I think the last 5 or 6 years, Pendleton and Abbeville have been 1 and 2, you know, finishing in the region. So I think it's going to be a good game. So an exciting game too. So.
Yeah, and it's definitely probably going to be the GTS game of the week. We'll get to that in the second part of the video when we make the selections. I think everybody's getting used to that. Greenwood Eagles. That's the game you covered on Friday night. Greenwood played Westside, and it's kind of the same case with Stephen Miller. They're in a kind of a weaker region. We already know that they're probably going to be the region champs for that region. But when you're looking at Greenwood versus Westside, any potential, you know, obstacles in the Eagles' way to getting that region championship this year?
There's really not. And I think the main thing that Greenwood should focus on is not so much on the field improvements, but off the field. Just making sure that they stay consistent, stay focused on the ultimate goal at hand, which is every team's goal, win a state championship. They have to stay focused week to week with these easy teams that they're playing, like Westside on Friday. They can't lighten up. They can't just loosen up. They have to sustain the winning streak that they have, and they need to carry that energy over into the playoffs.
Greenwood is going to take on TL Hanna. They're going to go on the road, stay in that wheat region, see how they come out. Appreciate the info, Stevie G. We're going to go back over to the left. When I'm talking about Word Shoals, James has kind of been the insider when Chris Maxey hadn't been here. James, when you're looking at the Word Shoals Hornets, another strong victory. Everybody expects them to roll through that region on their way to play 96 at the end of the season. They beat Dixie. I'm not sure the final score. Got to go back and check my notes on that. I believe it was 34-14 was the final. When you're looking at Word Shoals, though, what do you see out of them right now? I know your little brother plays on the defense. I believe you had a touchdown catch in the game. What are you seeing out of the Word Shoals Hornets right now as we come in to continue to play the easy region teams on the schedule?
I see Word Shoals trying to mix their offense up, because in the game against Dixie, they had a whole drive down the field. They passed the ball, which is not like Word Shoals at all.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking Coach Murdoch is going to try to expand his offense a little bit before the playoffs happen. And going through his easy teams will give him a shot to do that, because he can take more chances because he knows his offense and his team is better than the other team. So if he makes a mistake with trying something new, he can always correct it with the next drive.
All right. Word Shoals, like I said, they're going to stay in the region this week. I believe they're going to play McCormick for the upcoming week, so we'll see how the Word Shoals handles McCormick. In the second part of the video, we're going to introduce Stevie G down there to something we like to call the picks. It's coming up in the second part of this video. We'll be back after commercial break.